Episode 8, The Storm We Started. The morning light filtered in through the cracked dorm blinds, dust motes dancing lazily in the air. Chen stirred, face buried deep into the pillow, body tangled in a blanket that didn't feel familiar. A sharp ache pulsed behind his eyes. His head was heavy, his mouth dry. And then, cold awareness. He shifted. Realized. His body, bare under the blanket, only a towel loosely clinging to his waist. His heart jolted. He sat up fast, the blanket falling from his chest. He looked around, disoriented, panicked. Wei sat at the desk by the window, back turned, headphones around his neck but no music playing. What the hell? Chen rasped, voice cracking. Wei turned, startled. Chen's gaze sharpened immediately. Why the fuck am I in your bed? Chen barked. Wei stood slowly, hands raised slightly. You were drunk. Your friends brought you. You were soaked. Chen's jaw tightened. Where are my clothes? Wei hesitated. They were wet. Chen crossed the room in 2 strides. His fists bunched into the front of Wei's hoodie, yanking him forward with a force that rocked them both. Their faces collided inches apart. Breath to breath. Wei could see everything, the furious glint in Chen's eyes, the tension coiling in his jaw, the rapid rise and fall of his chest. You touched me. Chen's voice was low, almost a growl. Wei's hands clenched at his sides. He could smell the soap on Chen's skin. Could feel the heat rolling off him. You were freezing, Wei said, voice shaking with restrained fury. I wasn't going to leave you like that. Their noses almost brushed. Neither moved away. Wei's heart pounded painfully against his ribs. Chen's fingers tightened in the fabric. The anger in his eyes warred with something else, something raw, unspoken. Wei stared back, breathless. Then, he shoved Chen off roughly. Chen stumbled back half a step, chest heaving. You think I'd want to? Wei spat, voice harsh, trembling. You were drunk out of your mind, crying in the damn shower, Chen. You could barely stand. Chen froze, eyes wide, momentarily stunned. I carried your sorry ass, Wei growled. I covered you. I didn't do a damn thing except try to help. Chen's fists trembled at his sides. His knuckles pale. Wei's chest heaved. The room pulsed with tension so thick it hurt to breathe. For a second, neither spoke. Just glared, both of them standing on the edge of something too dangerous to name. Wei's jaw clenched painfully. He turned first, yanking his jacket from the chair. Fuck this, he muttered under his breath. The door slammed behind him with a crack that shook the air. Chen stood alone in the room. The weight of his own stupidity settling heavy in his chest. The towel slipping lower on his hips, unnoticed. The silence swallowing him whole. The afternoon sun blazed mercilessly across campus. Wei sat on a low wall behind the gym, elbows on his knees, phone pressed tight to his ear. Bro. Wei said as soon as the line clicked. A familiar, easy voice answered. Wei? What's up? Wei pressed the heel of his palm against his forehead, grounding himself. I need a favor, he said. Medical. A pause. It's not for me, Wei added quickly. Send me the details, his cousin said, tone changing, serious now. You got it. Wei ended the call, lowering the phone slowly. His hands were still trembling. Not from anger anymore. From the feel of Chen's fists in his hoodie. From the heat of Chen's breath brushing his face. From the way, for one terrible, electric moment, he hadn't wanted to pull away. And even now, after everything, he still wanted to protect him. More than that, he wanted to stay. Pause. It had been 2 days since the fight. The silence between Wei and Chen had grown into something sharp, like the edges of broken glass. They didn't talk. They didn't fight again. They just existed around each other, careful, like shadows that didn't dare overlap. Wei left earlier for class now. He lingered longer after practice. He didn't look at Chen. Not directly. But he always noticed him. Every breath. Every bruise. He told himself he was angry. But it didn't feel like anger anymore. Saturday afternoon, the sun was too bright, and the wind carried spring in its teeth. Wei sat across from her on the coffee shop patio. Yuna. Her laughter was soft, the kind that made people nearby turn and smile without knowing why. She had always been radiant, sweet, social, the kind of girl who made others feel seen. And she was officially his girlfriend. They had grown up together. Everyone knew them. Everyone expected it. She leaned across the table, poking his wrist. "You're quiet again. What's on your mind?" Wei smiled faintly. "Just school. Basketball. Nothing serious." "That Chen Yu guy?" she asked casually, stirring her drink. His smile faltered for half a second. "He's going through something," he said. She tilted her head. "You care a lot about him." Wei looked down. "I guess I do." Yuna didn't press. She just reached for his hand across the table. He let her hold it. But his mind was elsewhere. They left the cafe walking side by side. When she looped her arm through his, he didn't pull away. But something inside him did. That evening, the locker room buzzed with post-practice energy. Towels slapped bare backs, jokes bounced off the walls, and the smell of sweat and body spray clung to the air. Wei and Yuna were at the cafe again, someone said. "I heard they've been dating since last year. Childhood sweethearts. He always walks her back to the dorms. Total couple behavior. They're perfect together. Everyone says it. Didn't she make him lunch last week?" He shared it with Coach. Chen stood by his locker, towel draped over his neck. He wasn't part of the conversation. But he heard every word. His back stayed turned, but his grip on the locker handle tightened. He blinked slowly. Behind him, the voices kept going. Yuna's totally Wei's type. Warm, kind, always smiling. Total opposite of Chen Yu. A pause. An awkward laugh. Chen didn't move. Didn't respond. But something cold had settled in his chest. Wei entered a minute later, hair damp from the hallway. He saw Chen's back stiffen. He saw how Chen didn't even glance his way. Someone nudged Wei with a grin. "Hot date, who? You and Yuna again?" Wei hesitated. "Yeah. We just got coffee." "Must be nice," another chimed in. "She really loves you, man. She said it in the crowd last game." Wei smiled politely, then looked down at his shoes. He didn't say more. But Chen had already walked out. Didn't change. Didn't speak. Didn't look back. Narrator. Sometimes what hurts isn't what's said. It's what others believe. It's the way they all smile like they know your story. Even when you're not sure it's yours anymore. And sometimes, the most painful silence is the one you chose to let grow between you.